my kids are on Facebook. How do they access it?
How do they access what?
I mean, how do they find what you're going to put on Facebook?
There's a Claflin.
You type in Claflin?
Yeah, there's a Claflin reunion or a Claflin school webpage. Peter Gofinger set it up.
Oh, okay. So,
but the everyone's been commenting about your class, and you just made such an impression on all of us. Yeah. You know, the whole philosophy of the Martin money, the environment you set up for us was just so stimulating. And then, not to leave out what's being referred to as the sensory deprivation closet, but I mean, perhaps you could expand a little bit on your approach there, or the whole Martin money.
I did that at Cabot too later on in a larger space.
Okay.
They had a room with a window.
Yeah.
You people were in Stalag 17.
Yeah, we were.
Because you were in a confined space that the American prison system would condemn. And you could have pushed your way out at any point. That was
okay.
You didn't know that.
There wasn't a lock on it. Okay.
No. And it got warm in there too.
It did.
But it was at the time of the Apollo moon landings, and we had discussions about Mike Collins being on the dark side of the moon by himself in the command module. What's it like to be out there and to feel that you're the only person in the universe? No way to communicate with Mother Earth at all.
Sure.
Not even to see your mother.
Yeah.
Now, you people in 6th grade are not too far removed from that kind of incubation of being cared for and cuddled. What is it going to be like to be in this little space? So we'll give you some headsets to listen to something so that you won't become frightened, but you can come out at any time. And
well, I do recall some continuous loops that were pretty far out there.
Oh, yes, yeah. Well, that's right. We had people screaming and things like that.
Right.
Yeah, I had to fool around with a tape recorder to get those into working. So, we did it at Cabot too, and as I say, we had a bigger space and there was a window, and we put things in there for them to use like a computer. We didn't have computers at Claflin yet.
Right.
And they could do their homework or they could study, and I said, now what happens if you're at home and nobody's there and you're left on your own? Are you able to manage your time accurately and productively? So here's a 4-hour period of time. I would send home a permission slip asking parents permission to do this, giving them the reason for it, the justification, to see what it's like to be isolated, as in a spacecraft, from other people for any length of time. And once again, they could come out any time they wanted to. But if they stayed the whole 4 hours, when they came out, I took their Polaroid picture, laminated it.
Wait a second. There was a 4-hour goal in the closet?
It took 4 hours in order for you to get the picture laminated with the little...
How many students made that?
Oh, I think probably 15 or 20. Yeah.
Now, I seem to remember, I was one of those students that went into debt early with Martin money.
Oh, did you?
And I was able to work off some of that debt in the sensory deprivation closet, or whatever you refer to it.
Yeah, I do. I remember what we named it.
I don't either.
But Martin money was, a successful thing in the sense that at least it gave credence to the fact that economic education can actually take place in some of the early grades.
Sure.
And now they're recognizing that it needs to be a part of a curriculum, certainly at a high school and farther on, because people get themselves into debt. They need to know how the finance system works.
Yeah.
They need to know how they can take advantage of it and act responsibly with whatever resources they have. How to even write a check. There are people who are adults today that don't know how to write a check.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
No, it was a very good microcosm of society. Right. I mean, we had people in charge with being king for a day, or sitting on the chair on the table, which I'm sure was secure.
Yeah, and we even had people form little companies. Like, for instance, if you found that one of your skills was artwork, remember, you could say and put a little bulletin out or a little ad, commercial or something on the bulletin board saying, I will do the artwork for your project. If you need something in a report that requires a nice looking cover, I'll do that for you. If you didn't pay your taxes, which was, as I remember, very much in accord with the 1040 form that the federal government uses, you might lose your pristine position over there near the windows. Those were the high-priced real estate places over there. We even named certain areas.
That's right.
And you'd end up in a less desirable part of the town, the classroom. So it was a microcosm.
That's great. So how did you come up with Martin Money? I mean, that curriculum.
I don't know. I can't remember how it was conceived, but we said, let's make some money. I said, first of all, people get paid for doing all kinds of things. If you're a successful first baseman, they'll give you a Chevrolet.
Yeah.
But if you're a successful academic, you may get a plaque or a notice in the paper.
Right.
They won't give you an automobile.
That's true.
So I said, what would it be like if you did this work and I paid you for doing the work? To feel what it's like to earn a living, to feel what it's like to be remunerated for the efforts that you put out. And then could we find a way that could be exchangeable? Keep a record of it in the bank. Or, well, what happened one day, and I mentioned this, that there were two kids down the CVS in Newtonville. One kid had $1,000 in Martin money, but he didn't have any American money.
That's right.
His friend had a dollar bill, an American dollar bill, but he had not yet paid his taxes, and if he didn't pay his taxes, he was going to be evicted. So they exchanged the money so that he could get some gum and the other kid could pay his taxes. So for a short period of time, Martin money became legal tender.
That exchange rate wasn't too favorable, but
no, but you know,
but at least it translated into hard currency.
Anywhere if I had made Martin money $1 bills.
Yeah, that's right. Translated into hard currency.
I mean, if you think about monopoly, the price of a house and monopoly and all that, it has to be reasonable to be gamely. If it isn't part of the game and exciting in normal terms, it wouldn't work. So we ended up having two boys who, I think it was Rene Robert and one other, I can't remember his friend's name. They called Channel 4. And Tony Pepper, at that time in 1979, was the anchor on the 6 o'clock news.
Yeah.
They sent somebody in they called me up. They said, who are these kids bothering me all the time? And I said, listen, I didn't tell them to call you, but they did. And they came in with a cameraman and an interviewer, and we put together a huge, big check, as you see sometimes in the Jerry Lewis telethon.
That's right.
And they displayed it at the 6 o'clock news in 1979 on the Tony Pepper News Show.
That's great.
Yeah, so we made the news.
Well, on behalf of all past Claflin schools, you've been a remarkable teacher to us all. We really remember you fondly, and
thank you, Chuck.
Thank you for the memories.
I have many memories myself, and I very often still dream about being in school.
Yeah.
And,
looking after us sixth graders and keeping us in line.
We had terrific students and a terrific parent community and a wonderful principal in a town that is unsurpassed for its concern for the good education. The Ed Center, where we went for the workshops, science training and everything, was excellent. And this was in the age when the teachers could use their imagination and trigger some spark in students before this regimented MCAS thing came in, which I'm sure is there for a reason.
Well-intentioned.
But, if you prepare the whole year to take a test, that's not as exciting as discovering the world around you.
Absolutely.
Day by day.
Thanks again.
You're welcome.
All right,
Thank you.
bye-bye.